Hey guys, welcome to a Raiders Hideaway video. I'm going to be recording some videos about Flesh and Blood and maybe some other TCG games or board games. I've picked up a new mic, so the sound quality is hopefully better. A little bit of background, I guess. I played Flesh and Blood when it first came out, probably about 5 years ago now. Just on the Flesh and Blood website here, I was just going to have a look at the heroes to see what I remember. So right back to the start. So we had Ira starter deck right at the start, so I remember that. Bravo doing the Akatsu Reinhardt in Welcome to Wrath. And then the next set of heroes, Azalea, KO, Kano, Viserai, Kasai and Benji. Remember them. And then I kind of stopped playing when sort of Prism and Briar and Bolton Oldham came out. So I haven't played since 2021. I've migrated onto Grand Archive as my sort of main game. Played some Game of Thrones living card game about 10 years ago. But apart from that, never played Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any of those. So that's kind of my experience. Mainly just play board games with the wife and friends. But this is my sort of competitive streak, is trying to play these sorts of games. But I want to get back into Flesh and Blood. I have picked up pretty much a full Cindra deck. This Draconic Ninja from a friend, so I'm kind of ready competitively to go locally. But I'm going to be putting some content out on here, playing mainly on Felt Table and on whatever the other Flesh and Blood online thing is for playing actual people, because Felt Table is just against an AI, just so I get a bit more comfortable with the deck and with playing against the new heroes, because all of these new ones, Gravy Bones, Puffin, Marilyn, Scurv, Arachne Fang and Florian Jarl, I have no idea about. Never really seen them apart from the art. Don't know how the decks play or the play style or anything like that. So it's going to have an exploratory few videos. So come along for the ride. So as I said, here is the Felt Table on online. It's actually a really good resource. It's got, as you can see, Flesh and Blood Grand Archive has just been added, so it's not ready yet, but Star Wars Unlimited, Lorcana, Ashes Reborn are the ones I've played on here against an AI. So obviously not probably as competitive as real people, but great for testing decks and for, you know, having a play around learning rules, because it's kind of all scripted, not like Tabletop Simulator where you need to kind of know the rules for the game, and then also matchups against, like what I'll be doing, other heroes that I have no idea about. It's good to get a bit of a flavour on what they do. So Flesh and Blood, I am just going to pull off pull up the deck. So it's easy as to just copy the deck link, go onto Felt Table, add new, paste in the link. Didn't work. Copy deck link, paste in here, add deck, and it just brings up the deck for you. So it's real easy, and then it's got all of the Armory, the current Armory decks, which are sort of the more competitive starter decks, as well as other starter decks. When I played Flesh and Blood back in the day, I only really played the Blitz format, which is the sort of slimmed down, quick version. I'll be getting more back into what's called Classic Constructed, which is a big 60 card main deck, and the full heroes that have 40 health usually. The Blitz deck, they have 20 health and 40 card decks, I think. So I am going to play Cindra, which is the deck I said I've just bought. So this is actually the deck that I have. It's got a few extra cards because you have a inventory or a sideboard from other games. So I'll select this as me, and then I will just pick, let's go with Gravy Bones. I think he's a popular deck right now. And I'll pick me to start, just because if I random it might be the AI and then it does loads of really quick things, so I don't get to explain anything, but player one to start. So this is me just sideboarding, taking out some of the cards that would be in my inventory. I don't know the deck that well at the moment, so let's see. Let's take out. There we go. Let's just go with that. Whatever. So it's a 60 card. I know it's 65 cards. I need to take some more out. I will become more familiar with the deck over time, but that's 61 card deck, so there must be another one out. But for now, I'll just run with 61. Doesn't really make a difference for these videos. Okay, let's start. So, as you can see, if you've never played Flesh and Blood, oh, this is a great opening hand. 3 of the same card. So you have 3 of the same card, unless it's a legendary card where you can only have 1 of. Each card is either red, yellow, or blue, and cards have multiple things you can do with it. So there's 3 main things. There's the actual card for whatever action it is. So this one's an attack, and you can see on the bottom left the attack value. So this will be attacking for 2 damage. The top right is how much it actually costs in resources to play. So this one is free, it's 0. The bottom right is you can use any of your cards or most of your cards to defend attacks, and the shield is how much defense you're blocking for. And then the top left is, as I've just said, the top right is how much you have to pay for the card. If you have to pay for the card, you have to pitch or play down cards totaling that value, and the top left is how many resources you get. So yellow cards are 2 resources, red cards are 1, and blue cards are 3. So they have multi-purpose, all these cards. Those cards that you pitch go onto the bottom of your deck, so you get to use them later. Any cards you use to defend or attack or do an instant ability get discarded into your graveyard, and they're gone for the game mostly. So you also have your hero. So I've got Cindra here with an ability, which we'll talk about more in a bit. Her health is bottom right of the card, so 40 health, and her how many cards she draws or hand size is the bottom left, so 4. So you only have 4 cards each turn usually. Then you've got weapon slots. So Gravy Bones has a compass instead of a weapon. Cindra, my character, has 2 little daggers, and then you have equipment. So you have a head, a body, your arms, and your legs. Don't know what Gravy Bones does, but he's like a pirate dead thing, and obviously cool bluey artwork. And I'm kind of a ninja, so I have a ninja mask and sort of samurai style stuff. The first round of the game, normally you only draw back up your hand at the end of your turn. So if you use any cards on your opponent's turn, you have less cards in your hand for the following turn, for your turn, sorry, apart from the first turn of the game. So because I'm the first player, Gravy Bones can block and then will draw up to 4, which only happens in the first turn. If he was to block in future turns, he would have lost those cards to play on his turn. So you've got to weigh up the tempo and the balance between using your cards to attack and using your cards to defend. So my play style is lots of 0-cost cards, trying to make a big, long, wide attack chain of lots of multiple attacks. As you can see on Cindra on the main playmat, I have 1 AP, so 1 action point. So each turn you just have an action point, which allows you to play a card, and then that would be it normally. So you only get 1 action. However, there are lots of cards that say go again on them. I don't have any to show you. My kunai weapon does, so it says go again, which means you get an action point once you've played it. So you want to string lots of cards together that have go again. Usually go again actions are not as powerful, and other heroes like Guardians and Brutes will have much bigger powerful attacks, but they only do 1 a turn, whereas I'm a little ninja and I'll do lots of little chip damage. So let's just go first turn of the game. So it says my weapons I can use by the little red circle is the resource count. So I can spend 1 resource to attack with this kunai, but then the weapon gets destroyed once the combat chain closes. Cindra's special ability is once per turn she can spend 3 resources to take her weapons, these 2 daggers, back from the graveyard. So once they're destroyed, she can actually keep reusing them over and over again, but I have to pay for it. However, that 3-cost resource becomes cheaper. Each draconic chain link I control. So the kunais themselves are draconic. It says at the bottom of the card, draconic ninja weapon, and also some of my attacks. Again, I don't have any to show you, but some of my attacks, most of my attacks will be draconic as well. But this is just the first turn of the game, so I don't know if I want to waste cards really. So I'm just going to attack with my weapon, and I have to pitch a resource. So I'll pitch Salt the Wound. So resources carry over as well. So I've pitched this for 2 resources, one of which is used for my kunai. The other one is sort of floating here on my resource pool for use later on. So it's coming in here, it says for 1 attack. So I don't want to play an instant. The cool thing about this as well, Felt Table, it highlights in green those cards that are eligible to play at any time. But I will pass opportunity. My opponent can defend from cards out of his hand, which he's done here. So he's used this card to defend, which is a 2 defense. So he's blocking 2 from my 1 attack, so nothing's going to happen. I also have Flick Knives, so once per turn, as an attack reaction, I can use this, and one of my daggers, if I've got them equipped, can just do 1 damage, so I can flick my dagger at him, but it does destroy the dagger at the end. So I'm not going to bother doing it now. I'll just pass. And then this little icon shows that it's got go again, so I'll get my action point back. So I can do another action, and I've got a floating resource here, so I will use it to do another attack with my second weapon, because you can only attack usually with each weapon once. Again, same thing, I'm just doing 1 attack damage to him. Is he going to waste another card? He does. So I'm just trying to get him to use his cards on the first turn. And I can flick my knife, so I might as well do it now, because the other dagger that I've used, once this, once all these chain links resolve and my turn sort of ends, these daggers would get destroyed anyway. So I might as well throw 1 using my flick knives, the one I've already used. I can't flick the one that's in the current active chain link, but I can flick this one that I've already used at him, which will just do 1 damage immediately. I also have my blood splattered vest, so whenever a dagger hits, I can gain a resource and put a counter on When I have 3 counters, it's destroyed, so I get 3 chances when hitting with a dagger to get a resource. I don't actually really need... I don't really need a resource at this stage because I'm not going to play any of these cards really because they get better later in the game. So I'm not going to waste my thing yet. I don't want to put a blood splattered thing on. So that's 2 Draconic chain links in effect because I've attacked with 2 Draconic weapons and I've chain linked 2. So Cindra's ability now would normally cost 3, but it now costs 1 because I've got 2 Draconic chain links currently. But I will wait still because I probably will also attack with one of these. I might say wait here, pass, won't play an instant, but I get my action point back because again this has go again, so I get another action and I've got 2 chain links now, so we're still in this active sort of attack phase, and I don't have anything now that's going to have go again unless I destroy this, but none of these do. But I do still want to keep using up their cards, even though I'm not going to get the extra benefit on this because this card is currently not Draconic because it's just a ninja action. I need to use a special ability to make it Draconic to get the extra 2 damage, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And I will spend 1 to attack. I've got to pitch more because I've got no resources left, so I'll pitch another Salt the Wound, which gives me a floating resource, which is actually the extra one I need to bring my daggers back with Cindra, because again I'll still only have 2 Draconic chain links, so it's going to cost me 1. But this is coming in for 5, so hopefully it will take up their last 2 cards and they're burning through cards, or they're going to use some equipment, or they're just going to let it hit them for 5. I would imagine they're not going to let it hit them. Oh, they maybe are. No attack reaction at this stage because I want all my weapons to get destroyed first, because when I use Cindra's ability I can take both weapons back, but at the moment I can't because it's not banished yet. It's not, discarded in the graveyard. Hits them for 5. Maybe, I think Gravy Bones is all about allies, and you can't block from hand with allies, so maybe he's just got allies in his hand and he can't block me, so that was a good move for 5 damage to him already. And then I'll pass. I don't have any action points left, so I can't play another card now, but I can do an instant, so I'll do Cindra's instant ability. I'll wait. So I'll pass to close the action, so the chain link for my attacks. So all the cards that have been used during this sequence now get banished, which puts both my daggers into the graveyard, and now I can use Cindra's ability. I should have done it, in fact. That's an oversight from me. I should have done it when the chain link was still open, because that is what gives me the discount. Now I've closed the chain link. I did it purposefully to get the daggers in here, forgetting that I now lose the discount and I would have to pay. It says 2 resources, but surely it's 3. But anyway, so I'm going to cancel. I'm not going to bring my daggers back because I want to put Salt the Wound into my arsenal. So there is 1 slot underneath your hero where you can put a card at the end of your turn, and it's basically like a temporary extra slot for a card, which means you can then have 5 cards instead of 4 for the following turn. So I'm going to pass, put that card into my arsenal face down, and then I'm drawing back up to 4 at the end of my turn. Now we move to Gravy Bones' turn. And as you saw, he drew back up to 4, but just because it's the first turn of the game. So he's now coming in with an ally called Rigor Mortis. So this looks like an actual beast of an ally. It's got 6 attack and only 1 health. I've not actually played Flesh and Blood with allies really, so I don't really know how these work, so we'll see. But he's had to pay 1 resource to play this card, and so he's got 2 floating because he pitched a 3 resource card, a blue one. But I don't want to do an instant because all my instant is bringing my daggers back, and it's going to cost a lot. So he's now got this ally out. And I don't want to play an instant still, and that's all he's doing in the turn. So then he's putting a card down into his arsenal and drawing back up to 4. So he didn't have any way of doing go again, it doesn't look like. So he just got to play a card and nothing else. So that was good for me. So now I have options. Let's move to my turn. So looking at my cards, I've got Loyalty Beyond the Grave, which is a defense reaction. So I just have to use it to block with. I've got 2 of them. The cool thing about them is if you have 2 in your graveyard with the same name, which these both will be, you can then at the start of your turn banish both of them from your graveyard to draw a card. So it's a cool card draw as well as a defense card, but I can't use it to attack. And then I've got 2 more cards, Brand with a Cinder Claw and Demonstrate Devotion. These both Brand with Cinderclaw is a free card. Demonstrate Devotion is 1 cost, and then I've got a card in my Armory which I can play as well. I'm looking for Go Again. So Brand with Cinderclaw has Go Again. Demonstrate Devotion only has Go Again if I have 2 or more Draconic Chain Links, so it counts itself. So the first one would be this, which is Draconic, and then the second one would be this, which is Draconic. So there's 2. That might be the play. And then I think I'll do that. So first card, second card, and then I can bring my weapons back, but it would cost me 1, which I'll use one of these to pitch. And then attack with, then I'll just have 2 weapons, and then I'll attack with Salt the Wound and flick one of the knives once Salt the Wound is attacked. And then I'll save this one other loyalty to put in my arsenal. And then we go again. So let's go with that. Brand with Cinderclaw. I get to choose whether I attack this ally, which might be a good idea because he's going to hit me next turn for 6. Or I hit Gravy Bones. Now this is only coming in for 3. So maybe I save... oh no, they're all higher damage. So maybe I just go Brand with Cinderclaw, kill Rigor Mortis. Let's go with Rigor Mortis. Don't want to do an instant. And then my next card on the combat chain would be Draconic. Now they're all Draconic anyway in my hand at the moment. Would have been useful on that first turn when I had no Draconic cards. Don't want to play an attack reaction, so I'm hitting his ally for 3, which kills it. Don't want to play an instant still. Get my action point back because it had Go Again. And now this sits as Chain Link 1. And now I'm going to attack with Demonstrate Devotion. I miscounted before because I'm going to have to use one of these as a resource to play that because it costs 1 to play. If you control 2 or more Draconic Chain Links, it gets Go Again, which I now do. And when it attacks a hero, create a fealty token. So this fealty token is an instant, destroy it, and the next card I play is Draconic. So that's really good for those cards that I have, those ninja cards that aren't Draconic. I can give them Draconic for the turn. No impact now, but I'm not going to play a defense reaction. Do I want to bring my weapon back? I think I do. But I also want Loyalty Beyond the Grave, so maybe I don't bother. I will pass, hit him for 4, just continue, get my action point back because it's got go again, and then I would play Salt the Wound. +1 for each attack that is hit. Do I want to... See, my Mask of Momentum is good as well because it's got a once per turn effect. Whenever an attack action card is the 3rd or higher chain link in a row to hit, draw a card. So once I don't hit, it resets to 0. But I've hit with my first 2. So this 3rd one will force him to block, otherwise I'm going to draw a card. Yeah. So I will play Salt the Wound because it's going to be 4 because it gets +1 for each chain link. 2 at the moment, but when I pass it should go up to 4. He's had to block with Jittery Bones and Scarfless Scar, so he's using 2 cards to block. He's over blocking for 5, which is great for me, getting 2 cards out of his hand. I don't want to play an instant because I want to put loyalty into my arsenal. So I'll just pass. I could spend that 1 to bring my daggers back, but I think having this... if that's going on the bottom, maybe I do want to bring my daggers back. So I'm ready for next turn. Yeah, let's do that. I will pitch that to pay the extra 1 because I've got 2 Draconic Chain Links. And then I get to put these cards back, my weapons back. And now I can use one of them to flick with my flick knives because they're now controlled by me. So I'll flick one of them to just do 1 immediate damage. I could get a resource. So I could get a resource, but it's going to be wasted because I have no go again. So I'm not going to be able to go again. So I don't want to waste that resource. And I don't want to play an attack reaction. So this should... Well, I won't get through, but I've made him use 2 cards. And that's really all I've got to do this turn because I've got no action points left and I've got no cards left. So I will pass. These 2 cards go on the bottom of my deck, the ones I pitched, for use later on. He is now moving to his turn with 3 cards, 1 in arsenal, 2 in hand, so hopefully not too big a turn from him. So he's played Portside Exchange, discard a card, then draw a card. If a yellow card is discarded, create gold and go again. So presumably this card in his hand is yellow, otherwise it's a bit of a silly move. It was, so he should get a gold. I think he can, his ability is destroy a gold, draw a card, discard a card. If a blue card has been put into your graveyard this turn, you may play cards with Watery Grave from your graveyard. Play an instant before this. Nope. So he's now got an ally. I don't really know what that squiggly circle is, but he can attack. He's attacking me for 3. Oyster Heart of Gold. So I got to choose whether I block this. I don't want to play an instant, but I could block with any of these cards in hand that have a block. This Loyalty Beyond the Gates is a later step. Or I could block with my equipment. So they've got shields in the bottom right hand corner. That would be the block value, but this Blade Break means they would get destroyed, and I value at this point, I value their ability more than the defense, so I will probably just block with this Loyalty Beyond the Grave once we get to the defense reaction step. So I'm not going to block with any of the others. Play an instant, no. He's playing an attack reaction. Destroy this target pirate ally, get go again. So he's now getting go again, which he wouldn't have had before. But that's okay. I will block with Loyalty Beyond the Grave. Is that the 3rd one I've seen? No? Pass. So this blocks all 3 of his attack. Don't want to play an instant. So I've fully blocked. But he's got his action point back, which allows him to play another card. So he's pitched Golden Tipple, and he's playing another ally, Rigor Mortis. But he's got 2 gold, so it's now the end of his turn. So it's my turn, so now I need to decide whether I guess kill his allies or just don't worry about it being so far ahead on health. I'm probably just going to focus on hitting him. So this and this and this. So I can banish my fealty token to make the next card I play Draconic, which is great for Fire Tenet, strike first, because it's not a Draconic attack. So I will do that. I'll banish fealty, I will destroy it. The next card I play is Draconic, so I'll play Fire Tenet. Do I want to attack an ally? No, I will just hit his face. For 3. I don't want to play a reaction. He is not defending. I could flick my kunai, which I suppose I will. I don't need the resource. Kunai, I don't want this resource because I don't need it, because both my cards are free. And I'm going to have 3 Draconic Chain Links to be able to bring my daggers back. Hits him for 3, and then I'm going to... which one's next? This one gives me a discount on Draconic cards, but I don't need the discount anyway. When this attacks, the next Draconic card you play will activate, so that would be good to discount my weapon, so I'll play that last. I'll code Display Loyalty, because it counts itself. I will have 2 Draconic Chain Links, so it will get go again. Don't want to attack an ally, I'm going to just hit his face again. Creating another fealty token. He is blocking this time with Jittery Bones. So he's defending for 3. Does 1 damage. Pass. Pass. And then I'm going to play Ignite. The other thing he needs to worry about here is this will be my 3rd attack. So in a row to hit if it hits. So he's going to need to block, otherwise I draw a card. Oh, maybe it works. Oh, that would have been good if I'd have just attacked his ally, because it was going to hit, I think. Anyway. I've messed that up, but now I've got 3 Draconic Chain Links. I can bring my daggers back for free. I should have gained the resource from the blood splattered vest to be able to hit with the weapon. Never mind. I get it for free because of Ignite. I remember that's why I did this. Hits him for 2, gets to draw a card because of the Mask of Momentum's trigger, so he must not really have any defense cards, which is great. Pass, so I get an action point back because I had go again. My next Draconic card I play or activate, so presumably my kunais will count for that. And then cut through. If you've hit with a dagger, I already have with my flick knives I think anyway, but I will play my kunai. I think this time I will just kill his Rigor Mortis. Which is keeping gain a resource. I could use the resource, I suppose. Yep. Pass. So now I'll use cut through. I've definitely hit with a dagger, so it gets +1. So it's going to come in for 4. You can see how, as a ninja, I'm chaining all of these attacks together, which seem quite small, but they all add up, especially if he's not blocking me. Don't want to play an instant. I'm just going to hit him for 4 with go again. He must just have allies in his hand. Pretty rubbish for him. And then I get my action point back because it's got go again. And hopefully I now have this resource from the blood splattered vest, so I can hit with my kunai again. I can then now trigger my dragon scaler. It's the same as Cindra's ability in terms of it costs 1 less for each draconic chain link, so it's only going to cost me nothing. Target draconic attack gets go again. If it's a weapon or an ally, you can attack an additional time, so you can normally only attack once with your weapons. So I will trigger this. I'm not sure it's that great a reason to do it, but I'll just do it to show you. Trigger this. It makes this kunai be able to attack again, and I'll get the resource from blood splattered vest when it hits. Do I want a resource? Yep. Yes, please. And then I get my action point back because it's got to go again. And then I'm going to hit with it again with that resource. So that was a huge turn, a huge last couple of turns for me. I killed his ally and I've got him down. I don't want the resource here because it's going to waste and it's going to destroy my vest. And then both my daggers will get put in the banish. But I've got 7 chain links here, so I've attacked 7 times this turn, which is pretty incredible. I do really like this deck. And then I pass my turn, draw up to 4, move to them. They've got 3 cards, nothing in arsenal. So they're playing Sawbones. And they had Oyston, so they get 2 allies. I don't want to do anything in response, so they just play Sawbones. This says, the next time your pirate would be dealt damage, prevent a damage, and it's hitting for 6 again, so I need to be careful. Well, I don't, I'm on 40 health, so maybe I just go full on, kill him, and leave the allies alone. Okay, now do I care about my fealty token? I think I do. I'm going to have to pop it for Fire Tenet to be Draconic. And then I can play Brand with Cinderclaw. And then that will make Cut Through Draconic, so then that will give me my 3. Then I can play Blood Runs Deep, which normally costs 2, but it's 1 less for each Draconic, so it will be 3. And then I get to use both the daggers that I should have brought back to do 1 damage each. So this is going to be another big turn. So I will crack my fealty, which makes my next card I play Draconic. So Fire Tenet strikes first, coming in, not attacking the ally. He's not blocking again. Down to 13 health, and I haven't taken a damage yet. This not normally this one-sided, so maybe not a fair reflection. We'll play some more games and see. Get my action point back. Move on next, and I'll play Brand with Cinderclaw. Just check these are all. Yep. Attack the ally. I could use this to kill the ally. Maybe I want to kill the ally with my 3rd hit, because I just want to see if Mask of Momentum triggers from killing an ally. So I will hit him. For 3, because my Fire Tenet made it +1 to attack, so it's coming in for 3. Again, he must be stuck with allies because he's not defending, which is weird. Normally there'd be people blocking this. Pass again. Now Cut Through is also Draconic because of Cinder Claw, Cinder whatever it's called, Cinder Claw. And I will attack an ally because I want to see if this will trigger my mask. 3 damage, and then if I've hit with a dagger this combat chain, it gets +1. So I haven't, but maybe if I bring out my daggers, I can only equip 2. Oh no, I can't flick it yet. Oh, maybe I can. I can flick a dagger, which means I will take a resource. Oh no, I won't, because I'm going to destroy my daggers with blood runs deep anyway. Nope. It does come in for 4, because that little flick of my dagger before had triggered the ability, which is cool. And Mask of Momentum has triggered because I've hit with 3 chain links in a row, so I draw another card. Wow, wowee. This is pretty cool. So now I will attack with Brand with Cinder Claw again. Which I just drew, coming in for 3. And then I'll play Blood Runs Deep, which is free because I've got so many Draconic chain links. And on attack, each dagger I control deals 1 damage, so my kunai is going to hit him. Do I want to gain a resource? No, not at this stage. I've got no cards. This is hitting for 2. He's down to 3 health, and I've not taken a damage yet. Pass. Draw up to 4, and he's got a full hand and an arsenal full of cards, so he better do a big turn. Pitching Loot the Arsenal, and he's playing Restless Bones. When this attacks, you may discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. If that card has Watery Grave, this gets go again. Okay, fine. Instant destroy one. I don't know what he's doing here. Don't want to play an instant. Let him come in for 6. Oh, is this just an attack? Oh, it is an attack. Okay, this is an attack. It's not an ally. When this attacks, you may discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. So he discarded a card. If it has Watery Grave, it's got go again. So he did discard a card with Watery Grave, so I'll have go again, but don't care. He can hit me for 6. I'm so far ahead. He's got go again, so he'll do something else. He's playing Limpet Hop. Oh, Limpet Hop Along. The art's pretty cool. It's an ally, so presumably it's just going to go there until next turn. Easy, put that in Arsenal. Yeah. My turn. This should be the kill turn, surely. I've got 4 cards. Go again. Go again if it's 2 or more, which it will be. Mark the hero. Rupture. This is definitely going to be killing here, I would think. So Ronin Renegade. Don't want to attack an ally. Don't want to play an instant. It's coming in for 3. He is blocking me this time with a paddle faster. So this is not going to hit. So Mask of Momentum trigger. Need to think about. No attack reaction. Just blocking me for 3. That's cool art. Then I'm going to come in with. Oh, these both actually kind of do the same. I'll come in with Hot on Their Heels. Mark them. Oh, that's going to create 2. I'll play this one. When this hits a hero, so I want to attack the hero. So hopefully this will hit. I get a fealty token. Okay, it's not. He's blocking for 3. Cool bones. Get my action point back because I go again. Now I'm going to play. Oh, I forgot. it's okay because I need the resource. Bugger. Okay, I've miscalculated here, I think, because I need a resource for this, which means I need some daggers. But I have to play this to pay for this at this stage, so I will go. If this is played as chain link 4 or higher, it's currently not going to be. And I can only pay 1 to get my daggers back at this stage, but I'll just attack with this, pay with lava, attack an ally. I don't really care at this stage. Hitting him for 4. Let's see if he can't block it. I will play an instant because I've now played 3 draconic, so I can bring my blades back. I can flick one of them. Oh, he is trying to block. Flick one of my daggers at him, which gives me a resource, which means I can hit with the other one. Because I'll have go again. 1 action point back. I'm really whittling down his hand, so it's limiting what he can do next turn. I will... I'll kill his ally, I suppose. Boink. And then I've got nothing else to do, so I've got to pass. But he's down to 2 health and 2 cards, so he's not going to do much. Got a couple of options next turn. Anchor. Never seen this card before. It's an ally. Cool. Some cool looking allies, but this is just the Armory deck, bearing in mind it's not a like fully formed competitive deck, whereas mine is, which will be why I'm kicking ass probably. Okay. When this attacks, the next draconic card you play costs 1 or less. Oath of Loyalty I have to play as my first card, but it means I can only then play draconic cards, which isn't great when I've got 2 non-draconic cards. One of them is going to be, actually, so maybe it's not too bad. Let's go with Oath of Loyalty. Attack an ally. No thanks, I'll just go for his face. 4, are you going to block me, mate? He's blocking with armour and a card. Cool. So I've got to go again. Got my resource back. I mean my action point back. Now, when this attacks the next draconic card, next draconic attack gets +1. Okay, I'm going to pop my fealty. I'm going to play Fire Tenet. I don't want to attack an ally. Blocking for 3. I want to trigger. If you've hit with a dagger this combat chain, this gets... Oh, so I can't play cut through anyway, because it's not draconic and I played Oath as my first card, so I'm going to use it either to go in arsenal or to pay to bring back my weapons. I probably don't need to bother paying because I'll have 3. Don't want to play an instant, get my action point back, play Ignite. Don't want to attack an ally. I'll just hit him, trigger Cindra, bring my weapons back. He's not... Oh, he is blocking. Another 3. I can flick one of my knives. I can't get a resource because my blood splattered vest is blown up. Continue the combat chain. So I can now attack with my kunai, because he might not have anything to block with. I don't want to attack an ally. What? Why did that? Why was that free? Oh, because of the weapon. Because of not kunai. Because of this. Ignite made the next draconic card I activate one less. And now I can't play this card, so I'll just put it in my arsenal. He's survived on 1 health. Well done, but he's exhausted all of his cards, so I'd basically just get another go straight away, which is gonna die. Cut through. Okay, so I will play Ravenous Rabble with go again, then Cinderclaw. Oh, I'll play Cinderclaw first. Don't want to attack an ally. Don't want to trigger any instants. Jittery Bones. When this attacks, you may discard a card, whatever. He's overblocked. I can pump it up with this, but draws me a card, but I'll wait. My next card is Draconic, so Ravenous Rabble or Cut Through. I haven't hit with a dagger yet, so I'll play a Ravenous Rabble. Don't want to attack an ally. Coming in for 5. Coming in for 4. He's blocked for 3 and another 3. Pass. So Burning Blade Dance will do it for me, because that'll be my 3rd Draconic card, so I can bring my weapons back and I can do the damage from the dagger. Don't want to attack an ally. I will bring back my 2 kunais. And then Blade Dance says, if you control 2 or more Draconic chain links, which I do, it gets go again, and when this hits a hero, you can have the target dagger deal 1 damage to them. Hopefully this hits the hero. It's not going to hit the hero, but I can flick one of my knives to do the 1 damage that I need just to kill him. And I can play Ancestral Empowerment as well, just for overkill. Here we go. It's going to forward 3, drawing another card. Overkill, but I can make one of my daggers just ping him. So there you go. He survived a couple of rounds longer than I was thinking, but he was using all of his cards, so I was under no threat in return. But there you go. That's game for Cindra. Seemed very one-sided, so not sure that's a fair reflection, but I hope you guys have enjoyed all the same and maybe learned something if you're not a Flesh and Blood player. Until next time, cheerio.